I'm here with Jenna Green, MS patient leader, blogger, and activist. And today we're going to be talking about career and goals while living with MS. Hi, Jenna. Thank you very much for coming on the program today.
Hi, Damien. Thank you so much for having me. It is my pleasure.
Look, I'm glad that you're here because you are fantastic digital entrepreneurs at large. And I learn a lot from you, and I know that viewers of this program will also learn some things from you because you got a great career mind. So you have MS, right? And you've kind of been through it all, and you've been through some recent things with as far as your MS goes. Yeah.
Yeah, my MS is more active in my life than I would like for it to be. I was diagnosed, it will be 5 years ago in January.
Mm.
So, wow, I just realized that math.
Right.
Thankfully I was diagnosed pretty quickly and started disease modifying therapy reasonably quickly. But my MS is more active than I would like. Unfortunately, I just finished a couple days of the Medrol steroids to kind of calm a active flare-up I've got going on here. But I am also very resilient, and talking with you, my friends, and talking about business and talking about MS and activism really lights me up. So there is like no better therapy for me than this. So
That's kind of why thank you. And that's kind of why you're here, because you kind of are in the digital space and you do career, you do jobs, and you're a super goal oriented person and you're very good at achieving them and moving on to the next thing, and so on and so forth. And so that's why you're here, to talk about that sort of vision. And that's sort of like, all right, this is another career opportunity that I'm going to do. All right, this is another set of goals that I'm going to work on. And that's what we're just going to chop it up about. So I don't even know what I would even want to say now. Because I'm like, can you give me a job? But like career goals. So like career shifted as your MS has progressed? How's that been going?
Absolutely. So I have always been very career and goal oriented, I would say. I have always been that way. I went to school for marketing and business, and my parents are entrepreneurs, and I come from an entrepreneurial sales type of family. So I've always been very goal oriented and encouraged and privileged, I think, to think outside the box a little bit, which I love, and I think that has benefited me more now than ever. But I spent over a decade in like corporate America marketing, some sales, but mostly corporate marketing. Like I was in social media marketing before it was actually social media. Like that's dating me right now, but it's so true. But advocacy and talking about MS and doing things like what you do really is my biggest joy in terms of working, helping people, raising awareness, talking, right? Like you're just talking about your life. You are the expert.
Yeah, there's some way of marrying living life and having MS and wanting to just continue to have more and goals that stretch you. That is a lot of the work. You've been dealing with a lot of MS heavy physical issues lately. How do you reconcile that with career and your goals when you have ideas and you are focused, but your body is like, no, not today. You aren't going to walk very well, or you're not going to fill in the blank very well. How does somebody do such a thing? Like, I just kind of want to hear what you got to say.
Oh, dude, it's hard. I'm not gonna even pretend like it's easy, okay? Because it is hard. It is hard. It is a daily struggle. Life with MS can be a daily struggle, and it certainly has been for me. And yes, I would say especially the last 6 months or so have been very personally heavy for me. And I have spent a lot of time, I've had to reprioritize, and I think this is really the thing that is the key is, you know, people with MS or people with chronic illness, we are resilient, right? We are very resilient and we learn how to adapt. So the most important thing that I've learned in terms of reaching my goals and managing my illness is that I need to take that skill and apply it to my mindset and really have an adaptive mindset. So I know that, yes, there were goals I had over the past few months that I not completed, right, for my business. But the goals that I've had for my health and the things that I've prioritized and been able to manage that will overall improve my future and help me produce better content in the future, and create better courses and help more people. You know, there's a trade-off, but your health has to come first. I think your health has to come first, whether you're chronically ill or not. But when you have chronic illness, you know that there's no choice. So it is hard. It is hard. You have to make a lot of financial sacrifices. You have to make a lot of pride sacrifices. You know, I hate to say no to things. I felt bad I had to reschedule with you for this because I had to go get steroids. And my doctor's like, Jenna, you got to come in today. Because you know me, I am not the one to go right away. It's like, I'm like, do I really have to? But, you know, it's that mindset that you have to flip it, which is a daily thing.
That's kind of interesting that you touch on that, because it is mindset and is sort of seeing what can I work with now? What do I have? Forget looking at what's been taken away from me, but just sort of looking more at like, what do I have? And how can I inch closer to the bigger goal that I have for the month or the year today? And having MS sort of makes you play with your goals and unfortunately your career, because you have to totally reassess everything. I think that's a great point you made. If you have a disease like MS, your goals are going to be different. Your career might get switched a couple of times in there, and you're not going to know which way is up for a while. But if you just sort of kind of get quiet and be like, what am I good at? How can I sort of bring the most joy to myself and others around me? And then see what that next step is sort of how you inch down the road to find a whole entirely different career for yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I never would have considered myself an activist or an advocate before. And now I partnered with companies to raise awareness for MS. I've spoken with government officials. I work with the MS Society. That's not paid work, it's volunteered work. But, you know, I think obviously, well, it's not obvious to everyone, but I think that as a society, we place too much emphasis on income in terms of the only result of success, personally. You know, I think you can be very successful without making an income. But that's also a personal mindset change, also helped by the MS diagnosis, I think. You know, because there's some, you know, you are worthy, whether your productivity is at a level where you're making 100 tiddlywinks an hour or whatever they say in like the Elf movie. This is what I'm quoting right now. I'm sorry. I'm like, let's skip to Christmas. I'm like, if you're Buddy the Elf and you're making like 110 little like pogo sticks and like everyone else is making 5 million, like you're still being productive. Like, okay, if you got out today and managed to walk your dog with a foot drop and you got showered, I mean, like, you're winning. So I think I get an A+ for the day. But, you know, I think it's, as a society, we struggle with that as a society. And I think it's even harder when you are disabled or chronically ill to reconcile that, because you are still productive, and sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest. But in terms of career, you know, sometimes the things that involve rest or the things that allow you to, you know, just engage and enjoy. Like I've been like painting some furniture and meditating more. And Damien, this is actually, I don't think I've told you this, but this is because of you. So it's, like I said, in the last 6 months, my life's been a little bit heavy. And you are the one that introduced me to Qigong. And so thank you. And we'll maybe put a link. No, but dude, I actually have been researching Qigong instructor programs because I have learned and grown so much from Qigong, and I feel like a Qigong with an adaptive, you know, like with some adaptive things, that's something that I would love to create videos for.
See, okay, now I'm gonna put a pin in this. There comes, so you get diagnosed, your entire world changes, and you're just trying to figure out how to not be a gigantic ball of owie for the rest of your life. And as you sort of put things together again, you sort of are, hopefully, you get to the space of like, how can I be of service? How can I take my experiences right now, because they're not good, but transmute them into something that could be good for other people, either other people with MS or without MS. And that's kind of one of the sort of big unspoken things that when people talk about goal setting and career, they sort of miss the fact that like, okay, how can you sort of transmute all the kind of garbage that you have going on in you, with you, and then help transform someone else's life? And if you do that enough times or well enough or in the proper niche, you can make a career out of that. You can begin to make other sets of goals behind that. So it just kind of just is figuring it out. And as you are learning more about yourself, then you get to export that to other people, and in a way that you could have never imagined.
Absolutely. I mean, this is you're an actor by trade, and here you are making video content about MS, right? You know, I have a friend who has another disability, and she went to school for fashion, and she has a fashion line for people with disabilities. So, Girls Chronically Rock, shout out to Keisha. You know, I mean, you could have a podcast like Mylan Melon, and like, you know, blogs, content blogs, people pay to, you know, have content created to review products. I do a lot of, not a lot, but I do a lot of content creation or influencer affiliate marketing. I like to call it content creator because I only actually recommend products that I actually like and use, and you know, you can go either way. I have a course on affiliate marketing from a few years ago because that's something I recognize as being an important part of adding additional income to my future after I was diagnosed. And because I love talking, and I figured, by the way, sharing my story, I could share. People are always asking me, oh, well, where'd you get your necklace? Or where'd you, you know, now it's like, what kind of TENS unit are you using? And where'd you get that, you know, that lotion that helps your back spasms? But, you know, I mean, it used to be a little different. But, you know, I mean, you can take those skills in your everyday life and things that you loved. And, you know, if you love dance and teach adaptive dance classes, if you were a teacher and now you can't work full time, but you can tutor, or you can now you can create courses for homeschooling. I mean, man, I don't have kids, but I think that would be a real good seller right there. I mean, I'm just saying, I know about the kids, and that seems really hard. So, you know, and I talk to small business owners every day about how they can use their current skills, because I do still work with a small business owner community group and coaching group, a small premium coaching group, where we help small business owners figure out, how to use social media well. And also a lot of them use their skills and take what they've learned in business and pivot into a business that, they are huge into planting. And so now they teach classes on farming and like urban farming and gardening and crocheting and succulents and ebooks and courses. And I mean, the abundance is infinite.
So there seems to be something to taking what your body of knowledge and then flipping it into the digital space. And I know that can be a sort of a big barrier between folks where they're like, well, hell, I don't know nothing about computers. I don't know nothing about the internet. I don't know nothing about these things, but I just want to be able to afford my healthcare. I just want to be able to, afford my infusion. Can you get me a job to help me out with that? And as we're chopping it up, it's like, hey, your career, your new career is making jobs out of what you might find to be useful for yourself and the small community around you, and then growing that little by little, and then putting maybe a digital course in that, or maybe you start a group or a website to, gather people together. Now you have a big mailing list that you can sell to other people. There's something that's not quite missing, but it begs to say that we work because we show up somewhere, put in some of our time, and expect to get a paycheck back. And there's something about once you get a heavy diagnosis like this, and you really sort of have to sit back and look, you have to be like, I'm going to put in some work on some things that I might not necessarily get the return from immediately, or maybe even anytime soon. However, it lights me up. It makes me feel good and better about myself and life with my disease. I know I'm helping other people. And if I keep continuing to expand that, I can make some dough behind that. And if, I keep on doing it, maybe I'm making enough dough to make that a career, make that a job, make that a career. That's kind of what I'm getting from you, from all of this. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think now more than ever, that is the wave of the future. I mean, and certainly one of the good things that have come out of this, I really hesitated with good on that one, but one of the positives in the year of 2020 is that teleworking is now a lot more available. So telecommuting, teleworking, this is now much more of a norm, whereas before it was something as disabled people we had to fight for. And I personally, being self-employed, not as much, but I have many friends that have lost jobs or haven't been able to continue to work because they weren't allowed to telecommute. And hey, surprise, now everyone can telecommute, right? Like, it seems pretty obvious. And you don't have to be all that tech savvy. Yes, there's a learning curve, but Damien, you know me, man, I am not the tech girl, okay? Like, I'm good at social media, okay? And I can turn on my computer and everything, but I don't code and do editing and all that. They got apps for that. And if I can't do it in an app, then it's just, that's going to be as good as it's going to be. It's not going to be as pro. You are a pro at that, and I bow down to your tech savviness. But I think that we have to, again, reframe our mindset and realize that it doesn't have to be as perfect. Like, I have had to let go a lot of my perfectionist tendencies, and not just because I need a COVID haircut, I want everything I do to be my best possible work, and my best possible work varies by day. And that has to be okay, because I don't want to live my life in a way where every day is not enough for me.
Wow. That's I can't even say what that is. It's one of these ephemeral truths that no words really can be spoken. So it's like reframing your mindset or your ideas about what your career goals are. Step one. Step two, maybe try to sniff around this digital space, and you don't have to be a gigantic tech person like myself to make something happen. And for the record, Jenna's affiliate marketing and research and keyword optimization and all that brain, oh, I envy her. So there's always going to be someone somewhere who does more than you, slash, you're like, damn, if I could just do that, man, it would be so much better. But that's kind of part of it. As you continue to expand what you do, and it becomes more viable, you will just continue to grow and continue to be the strength that you don't really see in yourself right now.
Exactly, my friend. And I think sometimes can be very beneficial to have a small group of friends or like a mini mastermind, so to speak. And I've been in a lot of business masterminds, but a small group of friends that understand your goals and your skills, and they can give you feedback on your ideas. I think that is priceless. Well, I've actually paid for it. So there, I could put some numerical values on it, but you know, I think that that is something that we can all benefit from. And, you know, also, I know you were asking about adjusting my goals and like the daily goals and things. Before, I wanted to mention that for me, more so than having, you know, I do try and break down my goals into smaller things, obviously, because you can't just, you know, write a book today. I mean, that's not my goal, but you know, today I wrote a book, right? No, that's not how that works. Today I built a house. No. You know, you start with the foundation, or maybe first you find the land, and then you find, right? Like there's some steps, right? So I break it down into small steps so it's more manageable for me and my very squirrely brain. But I also, in addition to that, I have an idea organized, like an idea notebook besides my planner, because I'm always like, I am a little squirrely and I get those ideas and then I gotta like write it down, you know. You know, a lot of times I get them after I meditate. It just kind of pops into my head, and like, you know, it's just right there, and then you're like, oh, I could do that, and I'm like, you know, why isn't there any qigong like adaptive? And I'm like, oh, right. And that's like a form of meditation. So you know, this is like me as I'm like holding on to the table and trying to do the thing and making sure that I don't fall. And you know, it's been really good for my physical and mental health. But and then I have a vision board, which I think is key for anyone. I know it sounds a little bit out there, but you know me, I'm out there. I've done some vision board trainings as well, but I think having a vision board that helps you see your life in the big picture of big picture things, where you want to go, and it's less specific, because being super specific when you have MS and saying like, this is the one thing I want to do and this is the one thing that I have my career, MS is not a flexible disease in that way. Sorry. It's not always that flexible, right? So, you know, MS isn't flexible, so we have to learn to be more flexible. So when we take it as a vision board, like my vision for the year obviously included advocacy work. Well, it included some in-person advocacy events, you know, on my like list of goals that I was scheduled to do in my calendar that, you know, did not happen and will be virtual, and you know, a whole lot of different options, right? So, but advocacy is still a big part of my vision board, and you know, whether I'm getting paid to do it or not, this is like my life vision board, not just my career, you know. And sure, if we can mesh the two, great, but having that life vision board and knowing what you want to feel in your life, I think helps you recognize more, or at least for me, it helps me recognize more opportunities of things I could actually get paid to do as well.
Wow, that's super powerful, because in a lot of ways, even as you talk about all that stuff, a lot of the ways that I, you know, keep going forward is like, how do I want to feel? and what is going to get me to feel like that, and then I walk toward that. And it looks different in everybody. For me, it's, you know, editing and being a digital guy. For you, it's all sorts of SEO. And I can't even name all the other alphabet soup that you are queen at. And a lot of it comes down when you just sort of sit and you just kind of get quiet and you stop looking at what you cannot do anymore and just be. And then the things that you can do will come to you and come to your mind. And then you know, put the pedal to the metal to hustle to make those come into fruition and come into being. And if you continue doing that, jobs grow out of that. And if you continue doing those jobs, career grows out of it. I think that, you know, people in general, but especially if you have MS, you see the goal and it's so far down there, you're either like, nope, I'm not going to do that and not even going to start. Or you just kind of despair that the goal's so far away and man, how am I ever going to get there? It's like, yo, bro, one step, one step, one step. And you are currently not feeling that feels good or yummy or that's doing something, but it truly is. And that's one of the major things of growing a career, is that you take tiny steps towards some job, and then things sort of transform as you continue to move forward. But you have to keep moving forward in some way, because if you just stay stuck here, or not even stuck, if you remain here, then that's all you're ever going to have.
I feel like that could be on a t-shirt.
Look, yo, Jay Green on the scene so clean. You're awesome. Thank you for sharing some of your career and goal expertise with us and this audience here, because, you know, it's a lot to chew on. And a lot of it is real personal. So hopefully folks out there have resonated with some of the things that you have said. I know they have with me, and it kind of got me going. So thank you for coming and sharing that, and giving some of you to us.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all that you give. And obviously you give a lot to me as a friend, and also as a content creator activist in this space, and all that you do. I appreciate it so much. You know, especially when things are hard, you know, that's when you know that you're not alone, you know, and that's what you do here, what we do by speaking out. Like, don't discount that. That's if anyone takes something away from this today, don't discount your voice and the value of that. Don't say, oh, well, you know, Jen and Damien, they're already talking about it, so I don't need to talk about it, or like there's not enough room for me, because there's room for all of us. Your story is your own, it's unique, and it's valuable. So whether you're going to share it in an advocacy career way, or you're going to share your love of crocheting or whatever, you know, I'm not crafty, but I want to be. Like, I'm like a wannabe crafter. I'm a wannabe plant lady too. So like, just, you know, feel free to share those with us. But you know, it is valuable, and you know, what you do is valuable. So thank you guys all for hanging out with us.
Look, thank you for coming here and sharing some of your expertise with us. And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on another MS Views Now. Take it easy.